Welcome to my world of airplanes. This Cessna 172 was among one of the first I built from a kit. This ME-109, on the other hand, was among one of the last I built from scratch before completely giving up the hobby. Or so I thought, as there was no way I could have had an inkling that someday I would be building a real airplane, a Glasair 2RG. Looking back, the seeds for this project were sown with a trip to the municipal airport, where, as fate would have it, there just happened to be a cute little Cessna 150 about to be orphaned. This definitely merited a check under and over the hood, cowling in airplane jargon, and with a little bit of tire kicking and prodding, the Feldbergs became the proud owners of a Cessna 150 affectionately known as Whiskey Juliet Charlie. But champagne tastes required a much faster airplane, only available in a kit. The kit arrived on February the 14th, 1989, Valentine's Day. The large crate was unloaded by cherry picker and put into the garage. The contents of the crate, excepting the wing, were moved into the basement where they were inventoried. The horizontal stabilizer and the elevators were constructed in the basement. The rest of the project was completed in the garage. Here, the fuselage pieces are being prepped for bonding and the firewall is constructed. Just look at the delight with which Marianne helps install the engine mount. If you look carefully, you'll see that the horizontal stabilizer has been added. Note the hefty reinforcements on the firewall, the dual rudder pedals, dual brakes, header tank, and provision for a sight gauge on the header tank. This is the completed rudder, and the hinges have been riveted into place. And here's some underwing work being done. Leanne is reinforcing the second sump for the split fuel tank. Building the wing was one of the bigger sub-projects. As you can see, the preliminary wiring has already been completed and the control rods have been installed. Positioning and installing the gear was very exacting. Note the use of the clecos and the heavy angle iron to prevent the wing from warping and from damage. Now isn't this a neat autopilot servo and pitot tube installation? Here we can see the control sticks, a wing attach bracket, and the temporary hydraulic manifold installation. Finally finished with the wing, this is the preparation for the wing closing. And there's jubilation as the first half of the wing is ready to be closed. The wing tips were completed next and installed. Now the flaps could be sized and be completed. And the brand new engine arrives. These are some wing attach and belt crank parts, all fabricated from scratch. Note the beautiful alodining. As a nicety, transitions were added for the gear doors. And this is what they look like when they're all painted. And that cone-shaped object in the foreground is the rudder counterweight which I poured from molten lead. The wing is in the process of being installed so that the plane can finally stand on its own legs. Here, the engine has been attached so that the cowling and the spinner can finally be fitted and completed. The inside panels have been completed and I'm in the process of installing the seat back. And this is what the completed firewall looks like. The gull-wing doors have been fitted and attached, and I'm in the process of installing the plexiglass. The forward cabin installation is essentially complete. The spaghetti hanging out consists primarily of control cables and sensor cables. The engine has been attached for the last time, and the supporting systems have been added. And now for another milestone, fitting, wiring, and installing the instrument panel. Looks good, but will it work? On the left is a close-up of the gear control PCB board and the aft power bus. On the right, we see its relative location and the hydraulic gear pump. This is a close-up of the second autopilot servo. And finally, an essentially completed aft section. In this picture you can see the added propeller, and in case you missed it, here's a better shot of it. Here, the windshield has been installed, the battery added, the baffling is in place, and essentially the whole installation has been completed. The time for the rollout has come, and the airplane is on its way to its new home, the municipal airport. By the way, the balloons are only wing markers and are not part of the flight system. The road-bound journey was essentially non-eventful, and the airplane looks quite at home in its new hangar. Behold, Charlie Golf Delta Mike Lima. Time to test the engine. Will it start? And now for the upholstery. The construction portion of the project is winding down. The time for taxi testing has begun. They reveal that only a couple of minor adjustments are required. Donning parachutes, the day of the first test flight has arrived. This task will be left to the capable hands of Chief Test Pilot Gary Owerko. And here, Marianne is seen providing that extra little bit of insurance just to make sure that things go well. And they do. Up, up and away. Following a shakedown at the West Practice area, a landing at the International Airport, Charlie Golf Delta Mike Lima returns uneventfully to his home base. The date is September 23, 1995. It has taken 5,081 construction hours to get this far. With the airplane now safely tucked away, it's time to rehash the flight and to do the inevitable paperwork.
Could be a better day though. Not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, it's a lovely day. Looks like they're getting ready to go. Okay, well we missed the startup, but not quite too much. So here we go for a taxi test.
Turn it on and push the button. They're like taxis and they're coming back and they're
Pause for clearance. way, no? And pick up speed. Shouldn't think so. I saw the Esso guy or Shell guy, whatever. He just waved, so I waved back. So now what's the scoop? Are they coming this way or stopping up there for a bit? Oh, maybe we'll get a close-up after all. Really? Uh-oh. Maybe that siren is for us then. Well, are they waving at us?
That's looking. Oops.
It's okay.